last time we talked, the field wasn't laid down yet.
Yep.
What's it like for you walking on the field now?
It's amazing, right? I'm, of course, biased, but I want to say it's one of the most beautiful stadiums in Northern California. I mean, the uniqueness of it, right? The color pathway we chose, obviously our school colors are teal, black, and silver, but be able to have that incorporated in the field, not only just in the logo in the middle of the field, but we have teal end zones with black writing and silver outline. We have teal players' boxes and black coaches' boxes on our sidelines, right? It's unique, and also goes with our scoreboard. We repainted our stands a little bit. We're going to power wash it down. So it's just a beautiful setting, and very, very excited for this season and the opportunity for our kids.
I know, Matt, I know a lot of stories pretty much about the safety aspect of it. Talk about just having to not have that worry anymore, what that means, especially at the position you coach.
Oh, definitely. Well, it's always worries about injuries as far as, ACLs or anything with the knee or just those little knick-knack things. But as far as with that field that we had before, it was getting potholes, it was sand pit at one point, then mud spot right here. So you can make a cut and then you have to worry about it. That's the end of your career there. Now we got this new field where we don't have to worry about that so much, and we could go ahead and focus on the details and getting these kids right for football.
Yeah, I don't know if you was seen it before we got it done, but it was terrible. So when it rained, it would be like secret potholes and stuff. So be scared to step and practice seriously. So now we can practice without thinking.
Talk about the difference with this field compared to the other turf fields. I mean, the stand-looking bits. Just talk about just the details of the field in general.
Typically, and obviously I'm not an expert on turf, but typically in most turf fields you have the black, almost rubber beads that are put into the turf, right? One, I believe it helps level it out. It keeps parts of the turf down. It also, from what I understand, helps with the drainage. We have a different material, so there's this new sand wood type material that they use, and so I don't know if you guys can see it. It's pretty hard to see, but this is more of a granular, like rock type, whatever you want to call it, material. And so because of that, I believe it, from what I understand, it's a higher quality turf, right? So it's supposed to be able to give a little bit more. You can almost feel it when you're walking on it. It feels more bouncy than it does solid turf, right? And so one of the biggest complaints with turf is the give, right? They say people's cleats and things like that get stuck in the turf, but this is designed to have more give to it, more similar to grass than it does your traditional new age turf. So I'm excited to see what it looks like when we actually start practicing and playing on it. We haven't been able to get on it yet because they're trying to get everything ready for graduation next week. But like I said, I'm excited to see what the difference is in terms of the output, being able to play on this versus some of the other turfs that have the black rubber material.
That was kind of a thing before. Talk about the difference between this and the dirt. And I know it sounds kind of like a weird question, but you mentioned being able to execute offensively, not just during games, but in practice too. Talk about what this does from a practice standpoint, as far as being able to literally practice the way you're going to play.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things it does for us is it gives us the ability to practice fast and at a different tempo than we were previously, right? Like, as you saw, we had different spots in our grass that we couldn't even practice in because of, the divots and the sand and the dirt and some of those sort of things. So now we have a completely flat surface, which is something that no Deer Valley football player has ever been able to play on before. We have the lines, we have the numbers, we have all of the things we need in order to execute at a high level. So now there's no reason to play slow, right? And we can practice fast. We can execute things fast. We can ramp up our tempo, right? Those sort of things I think are going to help us not only in our conditioning factor, but being able to control tempos of games. Because as we all know, right, being able to speed a game up when we need to or slow a game down can be the difference between wins and losses.